Namaste and good evening. On behalf of Sri Aurobindo Integral Life Center, Auro University, Surat, and Renaissance Journal, Sri Aurobindo Society, Pondicherry, I welcome you all once again to our ongoing series, Kala Evam Adhyatm, Discourses on Art and Spirituality. Today is session number 8. And I'm happy to see Dr. Monica Suri from Auro University joining us. Welcome, Dr. Monica. And welcome to our regular people. Others hopefully will be joining us soon. But the good thing is that we are recording these sessions, so they will be available on YouTube in the days and weeks to come. So last week we had some sort of a discussion on Indian sculpture and the spiritual dimension of sculptural art of India, or we could say the spiritual foundation of sculptural art of India. Today, we are looking at Indian painting, but this time contemporary Indian painting. And painting, Sri Aurobindo has said, is the most sensuous of arts, visual arts. Namaste, Kiranji. Good you could join us. So welcome. So I was just going to, start off with the introduction. So just to kind of remind ourselves, Sri Aurobindo has it's actually several essays on painting, but the one in particular where he describes the spiritual basis of Indian painting. He speaks of painting as the most sensuous arts, and the work of Indian painter is to spiritualize that sensuous appeal by bringing in the sublime psychic warmth and flow through color, the lavishness of colors, which is not there in the sculpture, which is more of a static, a tough medium to work with. But here in painting, there is greater flow and subtlety of the emotion, the psychic emotion, which the Indian painter tries to express. That's been the foundation, that's been the original basis. And we have today with us a contemporary Indian painter who for the last more than 3 decades has been creating painting, has been doing painting, and at the same time working on her own inner journey. So she has, in terms of her technical training, she has a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Delhi College of Art, and she's been a recipient of several prestigious scholarships and painting art-related awards. She's currently working as head of the Department of Fine Art at one of the leading public schools in Delhi, and also has had many solo and group exhibitions at various places in Delhi in the past. But for the last several years, in her own words, as her own inner journey progressed, she's been drawn less and less to the outer acclaim and more to expressing her inner truth through her painting. So as it is the case with many artists, she's also a little shy in talking too much about her artwork. So she has created a video instead of a PowerPoint presentation, which she's going to share with us. And in the process, while she's sharing, she's also going to speak about her work. So with that, I invite Ms. Bindu Popli, who is joining us from Delhi. The platform is all yours. Please go ahead.
Namaste to all the participants. Namaste, Kiranji, Dr. Mehra. So the thing is that she is a little shy in speaking about. Actually, we have this medium, a visual medium to speak. So the verbal medium becomes a little less. And I was a little hesitant because for the past few sessions which I attended, I think I attended all the sessions, and everyone spoke so beautifully about Indian sculptures, Indian art, Rasa's session of Vladimir. So I was a little, I had this feeling that I won't be much speaking about what aesthetics or what spirituality is carried in general Indian art, but I would just like to showcase my work because I'm not a learned person. I have not read much about Sri Aurobindo, but people who have studied Sri Aurobindo, they say that his teachings reflect in your work, and that is the best compliment I feel. That whatever I've been doing through at a subconscious level is somehow getting endorsed by a great master. So this is my gratitude towards nature, and not speaking much about it. Let me share the video. Actually, I just want to share one thing that like doing meditation is a daily procedure for me. And the day I was planning to make my presentation for this day, for this session, I was sitting in silence for some time at my terrace garden, and a glimpse came in that presentation might be very static, or I'll just have to scroll one by one slide and speak about it. Why not something in the movement? Why not this glimpse, this inspiration also came in meditation, that I should present my work in a form of a video. So I took help, some technical help, and recorded a few talks or few descriptions about my artwork at my studio only. It's a humble recording, and I hope the audio would be okay for all of you. So I'll be sharing those recordings along with little aesthetic quality of video, which I've taken some help from technical department. So let me share the content. It's just taking a minute.
I would like to start this presentation by paying homage, by paying my gratitude to all the gurus, to all the masters whom I know and whom I don't know, for all their visible and invisible help, their guidance, their blessings bestowed upon me, which led me to create these humble artistic forms. The Divine has always been so kind to me that thanking the Divine is too small a word. It is all pervading, all knowing existence. Art and artistic manifestations are a bit closer or ahead in this never-ending search for inner truth. It is most of the time a subconscious or an unconscious process which can also become conscious with contemplation, and that is the only factor which fulfills the thirst of an artist. In his effort to go beyond the realistic forms and enter into the metaphysical hidden mystery, he tries to create images which may be recognizable or abstract. As I have been in this process of creating art with visual forms inspired by nature of the visible world around and unrecognizable abstract forms, a revelation came to me that nothing ever what an artist paints in his artworks is beyond God's creation. Every unusual shape, every form, color, shade, texture exist in nature, in universe, in the innumerable galaxies, in unfathomable water world, somewhere or the other. So I think an artist has no right to say that whatever he has made is uniquely his creation. It already existed. That's why someone is able to receive it and capture it in his creation. It is one inner truth which makes an artist vulnerable by revealing the fact that he is just the instrument of the divine. I know this is quite a deep realization to understand the fact that you are an instrument of the divine. You are nothing but just a medium, just an instrument. And this realization cannot be actualized, cannot be realized without God's grace. But at least a ray of its insight makes the artist humble. Now, coming to my own journey,
I think the sound is audible in the video. From my side, it's quite low. So this was the introduction of some of my works. It is a compilation of works. And as the topic says, painting is an expression of inner truth. So this realization is actually a process. You keep working on yourself, and things start unfolding. So the first thing I mentioned in this is that whatever we create is already in nature, is already in some form or the other. It already exists in nature, and we just become a medium to receive it and to reciprocate it, or just to like paint it or create it in some way. So this truth, I don't know, I should call it truth because these are eternal truths, and if no one has that right again to say much about it. So, and there are other things which I'll be sharing now. It is all about my journey, how I comprehend, how I see things, and how I paint, and the pleasure I receive out of it. So I'm continuing
of making paintings, this striving to know something behind the curtain, behind this visible word, the mystery, which I feel is the reflection of inner eternal truth, has always been my quest. Actually, it is again just an effort, a humble effort on the part of an artist, because he is an ordinary human being with all the fallacies. But again, by the gifts of God that are imagination and skill, the artist gets motivated to create something of beauty, grace, and meaning. And then it's all the perception of the viewer, the critic who comprehends it, who sees it with his own intelligence, with his own knowledge. For the artist, it is the process which is the most important thing, and he gets pleasure, enjoyment in being in that process, and feeling enriched with the end product. Talking about inspiration, I think every artist gets inspiration from nature. Nature has been so abundant, so beautiful, and for me it's something more than its physical appearance. I always found something mysterious, something surreal in all nature elements, the twigs of the trees, the leaves, the veins going inside the leaves. They seem to be so design like, so as if they're telling a story to me. So I think that's nature has been the best inspiration for me. I always felt that how a female relates to the nature is quite different. It's much more than its appearance, and these are the works which are depicting my relationship to the natural elements. Moreover, what I feel in Hindu mythology and Hindu religion, we always call female as Prakriti, and Prakriti means nature. So that's a very inherent feeling, inherent coordination between feminine aspect and the nature. So these are the series of works. I've named them Welcome This and this one. She is in the process of welcoming the new leaves. Moreover, she is also welcoming her new self. She is evolving along with nature. She is feeling its tenderness and try to be like it. She wants to be as natural as nature is. She wants to be that giving character should become a part of her integral being. So these were the themes which quite revolved around my mind, and I tried to depict it. And the form of the female which I have chosen is also not, though maybe it's not very anatomically, realistically drawn, but it's more like the shapes of the leaves. That her arms, her body is becoming, she's feeling that she's actually becoming like a leaf and becoming so giver, because nature is supposed to be a giver. In these paintings I've used watercolors and gouache as a medium, because these two mediums are very soft and you can really play around with the brush strokes as much as you like. You can blend colors. So I have used layers of colors to attain that softness of the new leaves, or the rich color which they have when sunlight falls on them or when they open up. And I've observed when new leaves are in the process of opening up, they have some kind of transparency. They have some kind of tenderness which attracts to the feminine mind. And in this painting, the title is Ashish, which means the blessing, and she is personified. Female form is the personified form of a leaf, and she feels that she is being blessed by some male energy or some energy which is above Prakriti or above nature, which is the guiding force of whole life. So this particular work goes with the feeling of blessing from God.
I would like to add that though the expression of the painting, the form is quite contemporary or quite individualistic, it may be, but the theme is quite Indian, like as in Indian miniatures or in Indian sculptures. The form is, the artist never went for anatomically correct forms, rather than try to capture the spirit behind. So that was at the back of my mind. I always loved this concept of Indian art. While I was studying about Indian art, this thing became a part of me, that let's let's not go with the form what we see, rather than what it is. If I'm depicting leaf, female form with the leaf, it should be similar to leaf kind. It should be similar to trunk or swan kind. So this was another truth which revealed in the process. So I'm continuing again.
Sometimes it's not easy to express the theme in words because these are basically emotions or some visions which you feel. Inside me is also one of them. I've made a leaf which is personified in a female form, and she's looking inside her. She's looking inside her to find the real beauty, the real essence, which is connected to the whole existential element. So that's the main concept of this painting, and she's finally sitting on a swan, which again is a symbol of soul. These are basically to find your own self. So as you go inside, you tend to find your faults, your agonies, your pains, and finally a moment comes when that feeling of blissfulness, calmness comes, which you really aspire for. She's so deeply engrossed in herself and feeling not the physical presence of the tree or a male energy, in fact, just feeling the taste of it. Her eyes are closed. She's in that state where her emotions are active, and the little green twig with pinkish little leaves, new leaves coming out, also depends that being in love with the tree, the male energy, something is flowering inside. That is why I've titled this painting as You and Me. So you is the ultimate male energy or the outer element, and me is the feminine aspect. This is the fetus, the new life emerging within the conch shell, which is the representation of the fetus, and nature reproduces herself in her own way. So this all represents the new growth, the new beginning, which is in a way connected to the ultimate nature. I actually didn't.
I think it's not getting heavy on the participants. I'm talking too much about myself because I think painting is the most genuine thing to me. So what I express is what's going in my life. Like painting is the way I live, and whatever is going in my life, I try to depict that only. And that earlier one, in which this form of fetus is shown, that was the time I made this painting when I got pregnant and I started to be in that process. So that at that time I made many paintings of cow, mother and child. So all these paintings came invariably. So I'm continuing. Like, is there anyone who would like to say something, or shall I continue?
I think Binduji, you are going great. Please, you continue.
Okay. Fine.
In her own way. So this all represents. I actually didn't, never wanted to copy something exactly, but wanted to express the hidden soul of the element, whether it's a human being or a leaf or whatever, or a tree. I just wanted not to replicate it, but to make the nectar of it. Somehow I think it's all visible in the paintings also. Especially this work, which I call Kalpataru, which means the tree of desires. And I've used the basic element of Michelangelo's painting, Creation of Adam. Rhythmic lines have been my favorite. It's not that I make them. It's somehow, it comes automatically. Whenever I start to scribble something, the curvilinear lines, the swirls, all those wavy lines come more into my drawing. And this particular work simply came from those scribbles. I was drawing something and suddenly this mudra of Lord Buddha came into my drawing, and it's a blessing mudra or centering mudra. It is more of a centering mudra when a person meditates and centers his energy to his navel center or to his original being. So this particular theme has been reflected in this work with the usage of lotus flower. Lotus flower again is the symbol of purity, the symbol of ultimate flowering, and all the rhythmic forms. All the forms are evolving. Though the lotus form, the leaves are evolving from those swirls. All the elements of the painting, the leaves of lotus, the flower itself, is somehow becoming the part of the hands. So lotus is also an existential form for self-realization, what is mentioned in Hindu culture. So the colors I've used in this painting are dark from outside because I wanted to focus the inner light. So just to enhance the inner lightness, the inner glow of the painting, I use darker tones on the outer surface. This is a small little work. I've named it Sugandh. Sugandh means the fragrance. And she again personifying, a leaf personifying as a female form, is in that process of feeling the fragrance of the flower. And the flower here is the male energy. And she is seen absorbed. Her expression is totally absorbed in the fragrance of super male energy. The medium I've used in this painting is gouache, watercolors and gouache, which is again a very flexible medium, and the softness of petals and leaves come very placid and beautiful in this medium. Moreover, this particular painting is also from the same series of gouache works, where I've titled this work as Jyoti Kalash, which means the pot of light. The pot of light is actually again a symbolism of soul, which we carry in ourselves, a light which is the soul factor of everyone. And there is some existential energy which is carrying that pot of your light. It means you are a soul, and there is a super soul which is carrying you every time. You just have to realize it or feel one with that super soul. It is again an experience of meditation when you feel that you are protected or you are in the hands of some super energy, and the glow which is coming from the soul factor of yours is melting with the supramental or cosmic energy, cosmic light.
Yes, I've just paused it. The themes are quite Indian, but I think the forms which are slightly prominent might be carrying some Western influence. So I think whatever I want to depict is purely Indian. That's what I know, and the forms are inspired from other artists, other the education what I've taken in art field. We have learned a lot about Western art. So the forms are a little prominent. The colors are more into blending part. They're more blended. So I think in Indian art, if we see miniatures, colors are quite contrasting, static. But when this Bengal period came, the blending, the shading part became more prominent. So that was my inspiration, the blending of colors using tempera and wash technique. So let me continue with.
In this particular work, though I have named it Soulmates, but I've tried to express that both the soul, I mean, both the masculine part and the feminine part, when they unite, both the masculine inside you and the feminine inside you unite, a different kind of energy creates, a kind of upliftment, a kind of meditative state is attained. So this is the particular theme of the painting. Coming to this work, I have always loved Krishna. Krishna is the favorite god of Hindus and magical, mysterious god. I've made quite some paintings of Krishna. This particular is one of my favorite artworks. This somehow evolved. I was not doing it actually at that time. I simply started with the central point somewhere with the face, and it kept evolving and evolving, taking the shape of Krishna, all the elements and the energy all around. So the process of this painting was very interesting. I enjoyed doing it because it was not pre-planned. It was not a particular vision, but it kept growing. And while doing it, I felt something evolving in me also. There are times when you don't work on a bigger surface. You use crayons, pencil, pens to scribble your dreams. So I think this is a very beautiful medium. What I use is ballpoint pen or any gel pen to create images which are going around in my mind. So these are the series which I call them Zen pots. They are basically somehow I got attracted to rocks and stones and tried to see shapes and forms in stones. So while drawing, what I saw that all those stones are taking shape, or in fact transforming themselves into different beautiful shapes, or you can see these are pots. The rock getting transformed into a pot, which spiritually I mean that the solid rock is becoming like a receiver. He is creating a fetus inside it so that he can receive the grace falling from above. So these are quite a lot, and it was quite a wonderful experience while doing all that, and you don't need much time to do it. It just finishes in one sitting.
Yes, the series which I showed, the pen scribbles, again these are quite abstract forms, but the life, they are lively. This was another revelation which came, that everything is alive. Every stone is alive. Stone is considered to be the most sleeping element. I mean, the basis of creation when you are an atom or a stone. But with contemplation, you start to see that every stone is so lively, is carrying something inside. So that was an inspiration. And now it is just a small video in which I've used my paintings in a landscaping mode. Just a visual treat, I should say. So this was all.
Thank you. This was so meditative, especially the last part. I mean, the whole thing was, but the last few minutes were beautifully meditative. Thank you so much, Binduji, for this beautiful presentation. So,
I hope it was audible, because from my end, it was quite less. The volume was less.
no, it was quite clear.
I think Binduji, very artistic way of presenting. The first thing I really loved the presentation. You were very far from, because of the Zoom or whatever, but we felt that we are with you, continuously with you. That was very, very different experience I had. And you justified the theme of this our this webinars. It is very, very spiritual feeling continuously from beginning till end. I felt, because there is a mystery, there is a transformation I could see, and there is a like connection, understanding the reality, and then again, presenting your own inner world, touching your own inner world. Beautifully done. I'm really, really, I felt that I should not speak at all. It is so much beautifully expressed, speechless presentation today you did. I'm really, really thankful that, this kind of, it's a very lucky, I feel lucky today that you presented this kind of work. Amazing work, amazing work.
It is because of the topic. I mean, the topic Kala and Adhyatma first, and the second topic, what Dr. Mehra suggested, painting is an inner expression of inner truth, painting as an expression. These are the two topics which are quite close to me. So I wanted to make this presentation as a painting only.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
it's a lovely work. I think, Beluji, thank you for bringing Binduji here, because it is sometimes, कि भक्त को भगवान दिखाने के लिए कोई चाहिए ना. Like that, अच्छे artists को दिखाने के लिए, you need some medium. So you brought her here, and really amazing work. And today I feel quite, though all the presentations were very good, but this, because of your own inner journey, we could travel with you in your journey. And each element communicated so beautifully that which we are sometimes are not able to express, somewhere. It is very resonating thing. So, which you express so well that, it's very much connected. And then you transform or kind of transported to the world, which is really spiritual. That has been, Beluji rightly said that last thing was like kind of meditative. And it is so true. Beautiful.
Actually,
we have us, Dr. Monica Suri also. She is associate dean at Auro University. Ma'am, you have some words?
I think ma'am has taken me to blissful silence. I was just introspecting and reflecting as if I am seeing myself in all the paintings, maybe, it is the womanhood which I was able to feel and introspect, because I think each aspect that you touched upon reflects some dimensions of womanhood, their existence, and the kind of journey they actually take, as a soul or as a spirit or as a living being. So I think I'm completely touched, and I mean, no words to express your paintings. Like, these were not paintings for me, I'll be very honest to you. I mean, it was actually like I'm talking to somebody, maybe by being on this side, I'm talking to somebody. So thank you for taking us to a beautiful journey. And I mean, we love to see you on campus. I'm sure Kiran ma'am will fulfill our desire of bringing you physically on campus so that we can meet you, we can hug you, and we can celebrate together the womanhood that actually we all are, striving to.
So nice to have you here. Thank you so much. All thanks to existence, all thanks to God, because that's what now, this is a gift and we can just be grateful to it. And it's not that when I started painting, I was not able to express because it was totally an unconscious process. And I remember the day when I put my first exhibition, a very famous critic came. His name was Keshav Malik, and he used to write in Times of India. At that time, he was at the top level, the #1 critic in India. He came and he saw my paintings and he said, Beta, you'll go towards spirituality. I was at just 23 or 24 at that time. And I was with, like, I don't know much about spirituality, I said. He said, कि नहीं, मैं देख पा रहा हूँ. तुम नहीं देख पा रहे हो, मैं देख पा रहा हूँ कि तुम्हारे काम will lead you towards spirituality. So उस समय it was totally a process of subconscious or unconscious. These forms came, and I just simply used to say that I dream them. I see them with my closed eyes, and later on, I kept meeting masters, and meditation came into my life, and I started feeling things on my physical body. I mean, I started feeling that my hand is becoming like a swan, or I am melting into the roots. So that was, then I remembered that what Keshav Malik said at that time. After 10 years, I'm realizing the fact. So being thankful to God for that.
Yes. I have one question. You said the one particular work which you showed, which you said you didn't plan, and it started with just the center, the Krishna form.
Yeah.
And what did you call it something? Did you give a title to it at the
Yes,
end?
Krishna all around. I titled is Krishna is Krishna is existence. What do you call God is? Some people call Krishna, Rama, any name, any personified form. Behind all these forms is that ultimate Krishna, or
yes.
So and hair of Krishna becoming clouds, and somewhere it is becoming roots, and there were some fish-like forms, some birds. So everywhere, at least we should try to see God in every form, in every element. So these are all efforts. I mean, humble efforts, or sometimes in meditation you experience it, but when you are out of that state, you become ego self. So for me, I always try to depict what I visualize during meditation, because those are my purest true moments. So I want to celebrate them. I want to live them. That's why my purpose to paint is to depict what I visualize, not what I see in society. I remember the days during my college. My professors used to say at that time also, I never used to paint, because generally students used to paint on the social issues, what things are going around. They always say that these paintings have much market value, so they'll be selling in their students' exhibition. At that time also, I was not into that race of selling my product, and people would relate it to the agonies. I think that everyone is full of agonies and pain. So why reflect all that in painting? Why not reflect what is deeper? What is deeper? What is behind all that agonies and pains of society, of your own? I think I've said.
Yeah. No, I think that's where what you said at the very beginning, that you have not read Sri Aurobindo, but you've been told that some of the insights from Sri Aurobindo's ways of looking at Indian art are reflected in your work. So that's why I asked that particular question about that Krishna painting, because I could see Shiva also in that form. And then I immediately remembered that poem of Sri Aurobindo where he speaks of, but Krishna and Shiva are one. You know, it's like total, like a complete expression in painting of that poem. There are those lines of Sri Aurobindo. And again, what you just are saying, that, you know, you are not into showing what the pain and suffering that is already there on the, that we see. But the purpose of art to take you beyond all that, to elevate you in consciousness. That again is something that you are driven by, it seems. So in that sense, your work is very much in that realm of how Sri Aurobindo speaks of the purpose of art in its purity should be. So thank you so much for taking us on that journey and giving us a perfect example of that.
That was the reason I joined this sessions, because Kala and Adhyatm, no one talks about that. People speak about art for art's sake. I think you also mentioned in one of your speeches that art for art's sake is okay, but art for some other sake is.
So let's see if anybody else has any comment or question. Juhika ji is there.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Namaste. I don't have any comment. Bindu, ma'am, I'm so happy to see you. You are very sweet. आपकी आवाज बहुत सुंदर है, and I think it is all reflected in the work. आप इतने vibrant हो. Your colors in the painting are very vibrant. So technically, from where the session started is the truth within, you know, it's whatever, I think it's your reflection. We can totally see the work. You are very warm. We see the warmness in the painting. So I think it was very interesting. I am familiar with couple of artists. I don't know, somehow I think it becomes too cliched to kind of compare the works, but I could also see a lot of the way the paintings were done, where the softness of the work I see in Manjeet Bawa's work also. Like a lot, it's very soft because he also has done taken work references of Krishna and cow and animal and, you know, trees and nature basically. So I see a lot of references from there. And one of the works, I think I'm forgetting the title of the work, but it came in the beginning where a female was in the form of a leaf, and then there was this a form of a man in a crimson color.
Yes.
And then yes, ma'am, what is the title of that work?
I think Ashish was the title.
Ashish, yes, ma'am, Ashish. I could totally go back to Ajanta. Sorry, I can totally go, I went back to Ellora, where I see Shiv and Parvati, and in one of the Ellora ka ma'am 16 number cave ka right hand side, when you go on the bottom of it, you see a high relief sculpture where there is Shiv with his Raudra Roop, and it says that so basically the depiction, जब हम स्टूडेंट थे तब हमको ऐसे बताया गया था कि मैं दुनिया के लिए जो भी हूँ, पर तेरे लिए तो तू तो मैं तेरे लिए तो प्यार ही हूँ. So it's like one of the hands actually touches the chin of the Parvati, saying, please don't be scared of this roop. So I think that is reflected in that, where, you know, it's one the slight crimson color coming towards that green, saying, and also the crimson color is something which is very bold. So like मैं दुनिया के लिए जो भी हूँ, but then, you know, it's like I'm very soft towards you. So I could relate that also. But then yes, you are very sweet.
Nice compliment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for showing us your work, taking us to the truth of the life. I am an artist, practicing artist myself, also teach at Auro. I think what is there within actually comes out. How you said that, you know, when you were pregnant, you started drawing about fetus, like you start visualizing whatever is there in the heart and mind and soul, it starts coming out in some sort of a form, whether it is painting, sculpture, music. So I could see all that. और अगर आप नहीं भी बोलते मैम तो भी आप, like, you are sweet. So वो दिख रहा था work में.
Yes. And then things become so easy now. Then you don't have to choose themes from outside. You do what you are. Life
Yes.
becomes so easy for you. So,
Yes, yes,
very
I
good.
agree.
It's nice that all females are speaking.
Well, I think there are comments from men also. So
Oh.
we should read that. Dinesh Sharma
Yes.
is saying that beautiful painting. Thanks for sharing. And Monica ma'am already has said, but Bishwajit Mahapatra is saying all paintings are awesome. Thank you so much, Bindu ma'am. So equally, you know, weightage of man also in appreciating the work done by you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Rishabh ji is also saying, thank you for such a beautiful painting.
I just wanted to say that
I'm so sorry, ma'am, to cut you here. Just one thing I would really like to comment here is, ma'am, though the style of painting is very traditional, you know, the like using of canvas or paper and using a very traditional medium, which is watercolor or gouache. But then I must appreciate how she has coped up with the new technology and making her presentation in a very, very unique way. So that was very interesting.
No, I've taken technical help from someone.
Ma'am,
Because-
whatever, it must be your idea. So I think
Yeah,
that is the
that's
seed.
what, yeah,
Yes. We
yeah.
can't do everything. So we have to borrow.
Yeah.
So, but then it was very interesting to kind of see, and especially the style that you are carrying, showing in a very different manner, where a girl was doing yoga. So it's the painting, not in the painting, but then painting with the nature. So it was very interesting ideas.
This was some Western concept which I've been seeing in other videos. So I called one of my these two girls are my students only who are good at yoga, dancing. So I requested them that let's go to some park and we'll shoot you and my painting also. So this concept just floated in my mind and we tried it out.
It was interesting, ma'am. Congratulations.
yes, congratulations. And I hope, Juvika ji, at some point we will also be able to see some of your work. I think that will be very interesting.
मैम मेरे वर्क इतने मासूम और सुंदर नहीं है अभी मैम ने बोला क्यों दर्द बताना
नहीं अगर radical भी है, communist भी है, वो भी welcome है, because there, you know, spirituality, as Sri Aurobindo says, welcomes all new light. So everything is, you know,
sure, ma'am,
journeys are different. So, and I think I just wanted to say one thing. You kept mentioning nature, prakriti, but here, through your work and through our interactions afterwards that you have led us into, I think prakriti is now evolving into Shakti. So that part of the Indian feminine view, you know, it's really the Shakti aspect that has also come through so beautifully, not just the prakriti and Purusha becoming one, but prakriti evolving into Shakti. So that is just, I mean, it just came to me. So thank you so much.
It's a nice insight. I think I'll be more towards this theme now, that Prakriti evolved into Shakti. Great. Thank you so much. And Shakti is Parvati again.
Yes. Thank you. So I think we can close for now, and we look forward to our next session. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll meet next week. Namaste.